For some strange reason, CNN decided to give Dr. Cornel West some more airtime. Here goes Dr. West explaining how dangerous the Democratic Party is and how the Democratic Party blocked him from getting on ballots.
Don't call it a comeback, but look who's back on the ballot. RFK Jr., the Wisconsin state election.
Yeah, they put him back on the ballot even though he dropped out. They said, nah, you can't get off the ballot, dog. You're going to keep you on the ballot because it hurts Trump.
Commission today rejecting Kennedy's request to withdraw after he suspended his campaign. They're ruling once a candidate files nomination papers, they're on the ballot, quote, except in case of death. Now, another third-party candidate who...
So RFK says, I'm going to drop out, I'm going to help Trump. And it's like, you can drop out, but you won't be helping Trump because your name's still going to be on the ballot.
Can say on the Wisconsin ballot, Cornel West. He's one of 3 third-party candidates now still in the race, and it's the first time that West has qualified for the ballot in a swing state. It caps a string of recent ballot victories for Dr. West. But sometimes elections can create some pretty strange bedfellows. Democrats have backed some of the ballot challenges against West, and it appears that the left wing, West has an ally in his corner, the Republican Party. Reports suggest that GOP operatives are aiding in West's quest to get on the ballot.
Now, look, guys, and I can relate to this problem. You know, I can relate to this. I have this same problem here. And I try to tell folks, listen, I am not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I tell them that. And then, but I create a certain type of content because I will admit, I'm very honest. My biggest bone to pick is with the Democratic Party. Once upon a time, I did vote Democrat. I woke up to how the Democrats really operate, and they're the ones I have the biggest bone to pick with. Having that, I don't know, having that feeling towards the Democratic Party influences my content, right? My content direction. And they're also the party in power. I tend to go after the party in power. But also this, there are a lot of people that come to the show that are Republicans or conservatives, and they like the way I destroy the Democrats. And that's just the way it is. And then some people will come and they'll say, wow, there's a lot of Republicans here, which I don't care. If the music is your type of music, dance to it, by all means. I never have a problem with that. That's how things work. We're not in tiny silos where, you know, only certain people are going to rock with you. Like, there are going to be people that are, you know, people that woke up to the Democrats who are non-agnostic, they're not with any party. There's going to be people that are Republicans that rock with it, and people that are independents. That's what's going to happen. You can't control that, and I don't try to. Once upon a time, I thought it says something about me, but it doesn't. It says we agree on something. There'll be other things we probably won't agree on, but there's some things we definitely agree on. What they're trying to say is because there are Republicans that see the benefit of Dr. Cornel West running in the election, running in the swing states, that somehow makes him a tool. A tool. As if Democrats own votes from anyone. And if you're a Democrat and you are aligned with them politically, why would you vote for Cornel West anyway? I don't get it. If these are Democrats that you say who should get the vote, you know, they would get the vote over Dr. West, why aren't they still getting the vote over Dr. West? I don't get what you're saying. So what you're saying is there are people that are undecided that are breaking for West and not breaking for the Democrat, and now the Democrats are salty. Well, that salt ain't good for you. They give you a high blood pressure. And also, walk it off. Dr. West is going to go into some detail about how they've been treating him.
Quality, but the opportunity society, then that just those words constitute a certain kind of, well, anytime the truth is a threat.
Is it that you think Democrats, and especially
to hold out for some kind of integrity and honesty? And yes, we could be manipulated, but I've been quite explicit. I don't want any Trump gangsters, spies, operative, or infiltrators. And at the same time, the Democrats trying to crush us like cockroaches, but we rise. We're still on the move and on a variety of different ballots.
Why is it that you think Democrats, and especially, as I said, lawyers in particular, are not coming to your aid in order to support your efforts to get on the ballot? Do you think that it is somehow a suggestion that you indeed are a threat to the Democratic ticket?
Well, anytime the truth is a threat to any set of lies and crimes. When I talk about Democratic Party, Sister Harris being genocide denier, genocide enabler, not talking about poverty, not talking about mass incarceration, not a word about reparations, not talking about wealth inequality, but the opportunity society, then that does, just those words constitute a certain kind of threat, it seems to me. But of course, at the same time, we have to be very honest and recognize that the Democratic Party has had so many different forms of rot that are operative. And it poses itself as a major opposition to the fascism of Trump. And it's sad to see, you know, Brother Kennedy has a right to be wrong, but he's siding with fascists. It's immoral. But if the only response to fascism with all of its lies and crimes is going to be more lies and crimes, then that's not a genuine anti-fascism. You're just postponing it. You're just putting it off. And if America doesn't have the capacity to provide a genuine response, then what are we talking about? We're headed toward fascism. We've got to be able to tell the truth about it.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dr. West. Do you take issue, or are you concerned at all about the Republicans who may be supporting your efforts to remain on the ballot, given some believe it's because they are intending for you to detract from the Democratic ticket, which obviously every candidate must earn their right towards that 270. Right. But do you take issue with the intimation that you are being used in that fashion?
No, I don't think it's a matter of being used. It's a matter of presenting the strongest case. And I come out of legacy, Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rabbi Heschel, Edward Said, Dorothy Day. I'm trying to keep that legacy alive in the context of electoral politics and tell the truth about American imperial policies, not just in the Middle East, but around the world, about predatory capitalist processes and legacies of white supremacy still operating that you don't hear too much in the Democratic Party these days. Now they got a black sister running, but you don't get serious talk about Black people's situation, plight, and predicament, how that relates to issues of poverty and issues of class and issues of socioeconomic position along with the white supremacy. Meaning what? Meaning, in fact, that it is very difficult to keep this legacy alive, given the fact that there's not a lot of space in American society and culture for serious talk about painful truths, for serious talk about justice for poor and working people, and serious talk about love. Brothers, sisters, siblings, the humanity in each and every one of us, that's being pushed to the...
You know, I did think originally when this campaign first started, Dr. West's campaign, I did think this was an opportunity. I felt that Dr. West could go into rural America and make a case for his candidacy. I thought he could go into Wisconsin, he could go into Indiana, he could go into Kentucky. He could go into these places and talk to people about real life and what was missing in our politics. And I'm very disappointed, man, that I don't feel like it truly had the opportunity to be all things I thought it could be. And maybe it was just me, you know. I could, I'll admit, rose tinted glasses, right? Like hopeful, beyond hope, optimistic, and just imagining what could be. You know what I'm saying? And I to do it over again, I would do the same thing. I mean, because the intention, I believe, was real and genuine, and I thought that opportunity was there. But so many things happened. Them moving in Kamala Harris changed a lot in this race. It's a shame that we have some people that feel that the Democratic Party moved to give them something they wanted, moved in order to help them. And I believe it was the opposite. The Democratic Party's move towards Kamala was an ultimate middle finger to Black America, because it put off, once again, the ability to ask those direct questions of the Democratic Party. What have you done for me lately? And it gives them, once again, an out to say, Kamala Harris, look at her. And it tricks another generation of good people to say, yeah, they got a point. So it's another one of those reasons why, I'm so opposed to the Democratic Party. Just based on that alone, based on that tricknology that they're using in order to Jedi mind trick Black voters into this nonsense. Again, who still believe for some reason that all skin folk is kinfolk, even when the skin folk is different skin folk and not really kinfolk and some other stuff. I don't even know. I don't know how you even put Kamala Harris in this equation. But yeah, speaking truth to power is a dangerous thing. They don't want any of us but speaking truth to power. I don't care what the basis of it, whether you're talking about reparations, wealth inequality, water, bad air, anything that cuts against the corporation, that cuts against the two-party system, the uniparty, any of that, and that questions any of it, man. And that's what people see. Like with Trump, you at least have the lip service of populism. Like he was recently saying, we're bringing in all these, we're allowing illegals, undocumented people to come in, and we're housing them and we're clothing them and we're giving them money, and we got vets that are living on the street. That's a very strong argument. But what will Trump really do about it? Would he really take care of those vets on the street? Or is it a political talking point? So after the election, if Trump wins, is he really, he may, stop the flow of the migrants to a certain degree, but is he really going to help those, is he really going to help those homeless veterans or homeless Black people? Remember, the homeless population is 40% Black. Black Americans make up 50% of homeless families. Entire families living on the street right now, with 13 to 14% of the population in half of the homeless families. Is Trump truly going to make a commitment to reversing that? See, that's where we start getting down to brass tacks, right? Sounds good. Sounds like the type of argument you want to have. And as I went over this weekend, I went over Donald Trump's website and I looked at his policy. He got a lot of policies. It's written by the Republican National Committee. It's not written by Trump himself. Trump didn't sit there and write them out. Okay? That 47 agenda, I was going over that. And it's obvious that many of the people that criticize Trump never even looked at his website. Not even once. Because they would know he has a robust platform. They talk like it's Trump, one guy by himself writing on scratch paper. Because the media has been telling them that Trump is an idiot for 8 years. And they just really believe it. And they didn't look at anything. So that's going to actually take me time to go through his policies because it's a binder. And when people talk about Project 2025, they're not talking about Agenda 47 or the very robust website of policies written by the Republican National whatever, not the GOP, like actual policies. And it sounds as you would think it would sound. Traditional American, we need to do better. Everyone needs to be safe, and we need to defend, and the family, and it's going to sound like an Orwellian. What's the guy? Those famous pictures of Americana back in the 40s and the 30s or whatever. That famous. Orwell is not the word I was looking for. It's these iconic iconic pictures of American life in the 30s and the 40s that took on a life of its own and is remembered for that side of America where it's like the father and the kids and the wife and the house and the dog and the... Anyway, I was right. Was it Orwell? Rockwell. Thank you, Rockwell. Norman Rockwell, that's the one. Thank you, fam. Thank you for sale. And thank you, Buck Billy. So that's what, if you go to Trump's website, you're going to feel like that's what you're reading. That's what it is. And I'd say, oh, I'm going to put together. I told you, Buck, I was going to work on putting together 5 policies that Donald Trump said, you know, and criticizing them. And then I'm there thinking, oh, it's going to be easy. Then you click on this thing and it takes you to this big ass, you know, this large library of information. It's like, oh, people are not taking time to read this. They're just calling him dumb. And you know, policies, and even if people have great policies, and I'm not saying his are great, but if you got policies, do you have the will, the intention to actually fulfilling those? You know, yeah, I've been saying I'm gonna lose 50 pounds for about 5 years. And I got 10 off. So you could say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but what you really gonna do though, Johnson? I'm thank goodness for the 10 though. I believe me. That's good. Let's listen to Cornel West finish this interview up. I didn't hear the end of it.
The margins, that's the primary thing that's generating the fascist mean-spiritedness on the one hand and the militarism on the other. When I hear my dear sister Harris say, America is the greatest story ever told, and I think it's Shiloh Baptist Church to say, I thought it was Jesus. Oh, so now we got the cross under the flag. Now we got God under the nation state. You can be patriotic, but not ever think that the nation...
Man, Lord Coates let him say that on TV. Sister gonna lose. Look at her face. Oh my God. Why'd I have this crazy Negro on my show? I'm not gonna be invited to any of the Kamala Harris parties. What was I thinking? Look at her face. She's like, my Jesus, what? Shut up. Cornel, if you don't shut your ass up. Look at her. Unplug his modem.
It is over something grander like truth and love.
She's trying to be too nice. She's like, I know it's hard to stop Dr. West when he get going. Be like, I'm over here like, okay, I got a feeling my people are like, tell him to stop talking about Curtis Mayfield, man. Slow him down. Stop him, Tim. Stop him. So I'm not the only one that has that problem with Dr. West. Because when Dr. West gets on one, shout out to Dr. West. It's true, Dr. West. People can't stop you, bro. She feel like, I can't stop this man from talking. Her wig is itching. Yeah, her wig is itching, Justin. Her wig is itching on this one, no doubt. Her pants on fire. Her neck is hot. No doubt, man. It's tough, Dr. West. Dr. West going in. Let him finish. How is this going to end, Dr. West? What you going to do, man?
And justice? No, not at all. The greatest privilege is being in America.
I hear your
point.
point.
No, the greatest privilege is being loved and giving love, to love and be loved. Let's not get things confused in this frenzy, in this talk about joviality.
You can miss call. She's so little, but she wants so badly. Look at her. She wants so badly for somebody to be of substance. She wants so badly for Dr. West. He's right. That's what people forget. He's right. You know, Kamala Harris is telling the world that America's the greatest story ever told, the story that includes slavery, mass incarceration, forced sterilization, the uneven, unjust application of the death penalty. And Kamala Harris last week was at a convention saying, it's the greatest, America's the greatest story ever told. The Native American enjoy and enjoy and enjoy the joy of watching you fail. The joy of you watching you fail, me watching you fail. It's going to be a beautiful, that's going to be joy for me because you are dangerous. And I can't imagine a life, the possibility of you being president for 8 years. I can't do it.
As if it's joy. I'm talking about a deep joy that comes out of grief, that comes out of struggle. That's what the blues is fundamentally about.
Well, let me sing my blues for a second and ask you this pointedly, Dr. West, and just really quick. Given what you think is lacking from the Harris campaign, should you not continue with your own candidacy, would you, in any respect, be open to working with that campaign or endorsing the Harris campaign? Yes or no?
No, I would never sell my precious Palestinians down the river, and I'd never have poor people pushed to the side in order to jump on the bandwagon of the Democratic Party. And of course, unlike Kennedy, never even think about the gangster Trump. No, we are trying to be true to our calling, and we are proceeding to November 5th.
Boom, Johnson. And so you can say what you want to say about Dr. West, and many of you have. I've got many a letter. I've got many an email from folks. I'll tell him, he can't do this, he can't do that. You know, yeah. Doesn't mean you don't try, doesn't mean you don't stand for something. And if we just only do what we believe is easily attainable, we'll never do anything. I'm only doing this show now because I was willing to believe I could do it. And it was no reason why, 40-year-old black guy with no connections at all gets to talk to all you great people. That's when I started, I'm saying. And so, believe, and also believe we got a greater vision. You don't just do something because you know you're going to win. You do something because you know you're right. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's also about. But I got to give it up for the lady on CNN, man. I disagree with her in the past, but at least she let her brother talk. And he's on a platform that gives him the opportunity to influence others and be that different message out there. So I'm happy to see it, man. And yeah, it's a pleasure to bring that to you.